Hey guys, this is Matt Byer, COO with AFC Fitness again, back with Inside AFC Fitness. Today I have two AFC Bala trainers. If you don't know who they are, you've never been to AFC Bala Kenwood before. But I got Carlos and Annie here. Guys, let's give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves and give us a little bit of like your background, how long you've been with AFC, and just in the fitness industry as a whole.
You want to go first?
So my name is Ann Mitchell. October 1st will be my 25th anniversary. I've had many hats, but I mainly personal train and run the spin program and teach silver sneakers.
And I'm Carlos Bradley. I am personal trainer here at AFC. I've been here 27 years. And my background is in football. I went to Germantown High, played football, went to Wake Forest, played with the San Diego Chargers for 5 years. And 1 year I finished up my pro career with the Philadelphia Eagles. And my degree's in exercise physiology, so then I came back to that, and I've been using my degree ever since, right here.
Well, you kind of led into what I was going to ask you guys about, but I'm curious because you guys have both had different kind of journeys and paths, both to AFC Fitness, and just like what brought you to fitness as being what you wanted to do. I guess starting with Annie and kind of where you started and kind of stuck to, and then Los, same thing.
So I always wanted to be a gym teacher. I mean, it sounds crazy, but I loved high school, went local, Friend Central, Quaker school, loved sports, wanted to go to Stroudsburg or Westchester or Gettysburg for health and phys ed K through 12. So I always wanted to be a gym teacher, but once I got into it, Title IX was happening, and it was like movement education, so it was really kind of interesting to be on the stepping stone of Title IX, women, sports, and movement education. But then also I started to do triathlons. I did not participate in field hockey and lacrosse in college, though I was like a 3-star athlete 4 years in a row at high school because it was very political. Mm-hmm. And I felt intrinsically that I was not going to coach like that and have people from previous years say whether you or not as a freshman could make the team. So that was hard, but I ran and I did things outside of it, graduated college, and then got a job. I graduated on a Friday, December 17th, and got a job January 5th at a Quaker school in Germantown, and worked a little bit with the boys club and also a Quaker school. First grade assistant, so I was actually in the classroom. PE, the school enlarged to 7th and 8th grade after about 5 years, and then I also worked part-time at the YMCA. After about 8 years of that, I realized that I wanted to get into marathoning, triathloning, duathloning, but still wanted to do fitness. Worked with the Y for 25 years, took 2 years off to compete and live in Hawaii, and then I've been here for 25 years. So I've been following that train of fitness, but I also competed at the world level for about 10 years, as well as trying to find my niche with the fitness world.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. Annie said she wanted to be a gym teacher because my path wasn't that far off of that. In high school, I was always pulled in by the gym teachers to do things, to do special activities, and so I was kind of attracted to them also. Mm-hmm. I was at Germantown High, which is where I played football, and I made high school All-American there. I ran track in high school also. But the teachers and the coaches really pushed me after in working. Now, those were the first instructors I had in the weight room. There was a guy named Mr. Horowitz that used to come down to the weight room and go, Carlos, this is what we're doing today. So that's what kind of got me going. And then when I went to Wake Forest, I didn't really know what I was going to major in. At first, I was trying to find a college that had physical therapy because I thought that's the direction I wanted to go. And I was torn in my decision. Wake Forest, University of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was number one at that time. Tony Dorsett, all of that. Took a visit. Wasn't for me. Some people thought I was going to go to Penn State because I played linebacker, and that's linebacker U. Got recruited there, but felt really comfortable at Wake Forest, and I ended up majoring in exercise physiology there. And then when I got drafted, I was in California for 5 years, and then came back here with the Eagles. After football, I started bodybuilding. I started working in powerlifting also, and so it kept me around it. And then I just said, why don't I get certified? Why don't I just do this? I like helping people because I always, even from high school, I was always helping people in the gym do something. So that's what kind of brought me to this industry. And then I've gotten multiple, of course, certifications as we have to get, continuing education credits, but kettlebelling and battle ropes and all kind of different challenging activities within the fitness world. So that's what kind of brought me to it.
And just kept you both in it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like I was working with little kids, fitness, which was fun.
Yeah.
But I had curriculum, I had lesson plans. You're right out of college, you do that. And then I was developing my sport. So I wasn't drafted by anything, but I was getting into marathoning, getting into triathlon, things like that. And then it was hard at school because you had to have the bus duty in the morning, then you had the after-school programming, and I would run like an hour on my lunch hour or whatever. So that's where I made the switch and went to the Y, and that was really then adult education.
Mm-hmm.
But I started at the low pole, and then, you're lifeguard, and then you're a director or in charge of a program, or aerobics, and then you're senior director, et cetera. But I took a time out for 2 years because I wasn't going anywhere as a female. So I figured, well, I'm an athlete, let's go to Hawaii. So I went to Hawaii with my golden retriever and was like number 2 on the island and was competing. And I'm like, well, this is good. Came back to the States, the mainland after 2 years, went back to the Y, but then the Y still wasn't promoting me. So then I went independent, and then I've been here for 25 years. So it's like that train, but at the same time I was like competing at this level, but also having to work for a living.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, for both of you, it came from a baseline of for yourself, training for yourself, and then kind of going from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with this in mind, and Jamie and I just talked about this a little bit on our last episode about like changes that you've seen evolve at AFC. So her and I are newbies compared to you guys, right? We were only 10 years, 11 years. So with you guys, 25 and 27 years, can you give a little bit or something kind of that you've seen the building change or the club evolve over the years since obviously we've been AFC? Obviously there's a lot of physical changes and things like that, but maybe just some of your experiences with the changes you've watched happen over the last 25 plus years.
Well, the changes in the building have been great. I mean, it's all been great additions, with the turf, with the padel side, with the all sports. All of the building development has been great. The gym changes and even possible more changes coming. But what I've probably seen change the most is the clientele, in that when I first came, it was 98. And it was kind of like 25, 35. But that same 25, 35 is now 55, 65.
Yeah.
So now I've seen older people kind of like in the gym and people in the gym longer. And then the trends changing over. Is the gym just for young people? Is the gym just for middle-aged people? What do older people do? But there's a place for everybody in the gym because everybody needs fitness. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs to keep moving. But I think the membership here at AFC is older for the most part, but I think that's changing also. When we had the influx, when St. Joe's came in, that was a big piece. And then I think some of those kids have stayed. So I think in the clientele here, it's gotten a little older, but I think it's trending younger.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially the last 3 or 4 years, it's definitely feels like it's changed at this location.
Yeah.
What about for you?
So I've been in fitness for 50 years. So it's 25 years at the Y and then 25 years here. Throughout those 50 years, I've seen the change of competition. So, and our 25 years here with AFC, we've had challenges with competition of outside studios, outside gyms, but also just choices than advertisement. So what I see is like we used to have like spin class and we'd have people lined up outside to sign up for a spin class. Now spin's kind of like out there and like off because now there's Soul Cycle and things like that. But I see the same, all 25 years I've been here, the continuity of the staff that is strong, caring, educated, presenting fitness to whoever walks in the door. So in the beginning, it was like young people, and it was like we had babysitting, and so we had mothers dropping off and doing stuff like that. And then there's this like, we've had like, 9/11 happen, then there's been COVID, so we've had to hustle to drops in the, economics. So we've had to hustle to keep the people in, and we do that as a staff because we maintain our education to the programs that we present. Now, yeah, it does seem like it's an older population, but it's also sort of coming back into that mid, like 40s, 30, 40s. I don't consider that old, but I consider that older than what we used to when I first came here.
Right. Well, it's interesting you said about the education and the learning, because personal training, we're circling back around with a younger group coming in now. But what I've found, and I think the stronghold at AFC, is the personal training. Other gyms open and other gyms close. But the thing about AFC is the personal training staff is mindful, educated, concerned, attentive. And I think that's what brings people back.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had clients for 20 years. Then I've had clients for a year. I've had clients for 20 years that then bring me their kids coming back around, but it's always back here. People have gone other places and done personal training, but they seem to circle back to where they feel people care for them, look after them, and are genuine.
Yeah. And the strength of the trainers, you look at it and it's like each trainer has an element that they present to clients. And we as trainers are quite the family, because it's like if someone comes to me and goes, Annie, I really want you to train me, I'm like, I think this person would be more appropriate for you.
Yeah, that's cool too.
We have no problems giving the business that came to me to give it away, because AFC personal training isn't Annie, isn't Carlos, isn't Terrence, it's everybody. So it's like, here's this person, well, you'll fit there, or you'll fit there. Oh, great, boom. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things too that's always find interesting, and this is me visiting all the locations, is I feel like anytime I'm at any of the clubs, obviously coming from here and starting here, every time I'm on the floor, half the floor is usually with a trainer. And that's certainly has been the case at Radnor since opening there, but that's always been the case here. And I think that's a testament to just our trainers' retention and connection for them too. So it's funny you bring that up, because the next thing I was going to ask you guys is, what do you see from when you started with AFC training, the role of the trainer? Like, how has that evolved? Has it come full circle back to kind of the way it was? Like, the role of the trainer with the client, I'm sure even like your particular roles. I know obviously you take pride in helping with the younger trainers and things like that. But from a trainer to client perspective, have you seen that relationship change a little bit?
Well, see, personal training, and when you get certified as a personal training is one, and counseling is part of it also.
For sure.
And I know with myself, and I take pride in helping the other trainers, but I also take pride in developing the culture that's at the gym. Because like Annie just explained, everybody's not for me. Everybody's not for her. But then it could be for Pete or Terrence or Justine or Charlene. It could be for the next person. But I could talk to them and go, you know what? This person would be better. But what I've seen is people understand more of what the personal trainer is doing. He's helping you, but in personal training, it also helps you throughout your life. Like, I'll have a businessman come in the morning. I got a big meeting this afternoon. Well, he's trying to get prepared mentally for that. Well, the training helps him get set for that. He gets calmed down. He feels good about himself, and he can present himself better. And I think the younger trainers who have a good knowledge base. I mean, Artune and Olivia and Pete, those guys, they know their stuff. Yeah. They hadn't applied it as much as we had. but then they've started applying it more as they've dealt with us and then dealing with clients. And, the relationship part of what becomes of personal training and being that close for an hour or a half hour, 45 minutes with somebody grows over time.
Yeah. And there's an influence. It's like, you don't think it, but we're not judgmental. I don't know how to say it to be polite. But when there's a new person on the floor, you always wonder, like, I wonder what this person's going to be like. Is this person's going to fit into Bala AFC? Having been here 25 years, I'm like, yeah, I give this person a year. I give this person 5 years. Not really, but we are elite. We have a level of expertise that I expect us to maintain. I have 5 clients. He has 80 clients. We all have this expertise, this level. So it's like this new person comes in, and I watch whether they sort of watch us, if they absorb into our playbook, call it that.
A new trainer.
Yeah, new trainer. Yeah. But I also like the freshness. I love, even though I've been on the, you get your CECs, I listen to all these people and I learn and I say, oh my God, our tune. That was really cool. Can I use it? Because I learn off the young people, or like Carlos. Yesterday I was training a client who I've trained for like 15 years, Hillary, trained, and there was a person next to me, and Carlos was waiting for that because he was on it with his client, and he just goes over and says, here, you got to sit back, you got to do this. How does it feel? She goes, harder, but it's better. I mean, that's what we do, but that's what you want the new people to do. But you also want the new people to sort of like watch and learn from us. Like we're educators still. We're like trying to show them.
Yeah, for sure, we definitely have a very good group of young trainers.
And if they don't make it, it's interesting. We've had, we could go back, some of these people that have come and they've lasted a little bit and then they go. They just not fit in. They just don't have that level of what we have.
Well, you got to be willing to give.
Yeah.
Like, if you come in and you go, I want to make this amount of money, do all that.
True that.
That's not how it comes.
Right.
It comes because you give, and then it comes. They come, so then it comes.
Yes.
And which I've tried to explain to trainers over time. They'll come in and go, I want to make what you make and do what you make. Well, first of all, you haven't been there as long as me. You don't have the experience I have.
Right.
But what you can learn is how to get to that point. And it takes time. It takes relationships. It takes developing what you do and showing people what you do. So when I'll go over to people all day, your seat's not right, fix it.
Yeah.
They remember that. So then they'll refer back to me. And I tell the younger trainers, you got to give to get.
Yeah.
You got to help somebody do something. You can come to a job and not do your job. But if in this job, if you come to the job, you need to do your job. Get on the floor, help somebody, help them be better than when they walked in the door.
Yeah.
And you can do that by just interacting with them.
And also other program areas. Personal training is a program, but a lot of the good trainers are also educators down in the aerobic studio or doing a class. And that's training in a way. And then you see the isolated of one person who then wants to be personalized trained, then you've got that client. But you also then are part of the whole package.
Yeah.
You can't just be a trainer. You can, but it's like you got to be the whole package of Bala.
Well, to
be a good
that
trainer.
point, I know you and Terrence used to do it where you taught classes to get introduced, but it's from an athlete standpoint, a training standpoint, what you're saying, it always holds true is if you come in, and this isn't just trainers, right? This could be a new membership team member, it could be a new manager. If you're only focused on like, this is the result I want, but you're not doing or understanding the work, you can put the result out there and say, that's the end goal, but I got to start here. Because if you just start at the result, you're going to spin your wheels and then you're going to burn out and you're going to move on.
You're going to be done.
Right. And that applies, I'm sure at Wake Forest and you're in Hawaii and competing. Like if I only worried about the end result and didn't do any of the work during the week to get there, then
it wouldn't happen.
Nothing was going to happen.
Yeah, it would you never get there.
Yeah, I can remember in high school, this just intrinsic lesson I learned, field hockey, big deal player. I'd have some great games and we lost. And I'd have some lousy games and we won. And I realized it's not about that you have to be the good player. It's about what is the end result. Like, we had a great game. Damn it, I didn't play well. Or, okay, we lost. I felt good, I played well, but I didn't feel good that the team lost. So it's kind of the same. We can be a great trainer, but if you're just here for the money, you're not helping the team.
Yeah. Well, and especially from a trainer's perspective, if that's all you're there for and it's not about the client or the team
Yeah.
situation, then the retention part goes away, right?
Yeah,
Because the
true that.
client, relationally, you'll eventually make relationships with your clients. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you guys
Right.
know that. But at the end of the day, they want to accomplish the goals that they're there. And if you're just there to make sure you get that hour session checked off,
Yeah.
they're eventually going to go find another trainer
Yeah.
or another gym, and that's not it. And saying all this to say, I think we have a really good group of trainers who don't do that
Right.
do connect and are
Right.
relational. So, all right, so with some of that in mind and kind of going back like over the span of time, I wanted to also just kind of get your input on some of the funnier things from the fitness side. So, knowing that we're talking about a 25-year window, what are some fitness fads or things that AFC in general or just the fitness industry either got into and fizzled out, or that even the club themselves thought was going to be something and it was not?
Right.
We
Yeah.
had this guy.
Be careful. None of them were my ideas.
Yeah.
We had this guy that used to do these 15-minute workouts.
Oh my God.
We could
You
do
remember
14. What do you mean? You could do
And
it for 14.
he looked like, who's the guy that looked like the clown? Yeah. Yeah.
And he used to come in with this board, and everything had to do with this board and setting
Yep.
up this board. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how is that fitness?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing
Yeah.
in this 15
This is just a
minute-
member that came in with it?
No, this was
We hired him.
it was
It
a
was
guy
Yeah.
that he would come in
This is his gig.
once or
Okay.
twice a week, 15-minute workouts. And he would have his lineup of people
Right.
that wanted to do this 15-minute
Right.
workout. And like it was just like holding this board in a certain position.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how is that fitness? Like, how is that helping
Yeah.
your heart, helping your brain, helping you move?
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah. We had a class down in the studio on those bouncy, like the little mini trampolines. Do you remember that?
Yes,
Like,
yes, yes.
And
I
I'm like,
remember that
okay,
too.
yeah, and he had the handle up here, and you're like
Oh, in
bouncing
Studio
on
B.
Yeah, in Studio
Yeah, yeah.
Studio A. Yeah, and I'm
Right,
like,
yeah.
okay, this is like bizarre. Like you're bouncing, wait until somebody flies off of that, and then we used to have like the programs down there that you had to like get certified. You could only teach with that equipment or whatever. Well, that didn't last long.
No.
Yeah.
It was a trainer, and he's not with us any longer, unfortunately. Not Jim, he's
Gone.
passed on. But this guy had a great body, looked good. But he always wanted his clients to just watch him work out. So he would say, "This is how you do the exercise." He would sit down and he's doing his sets like he's just working, and they're like, "Wow, you look great. You look great." He would go, "Okay, let's move to the next machine." They didn't do anything.
Right.
He's just getting his reps in.
Yeah.
He just was working out.
Yeah, and then we have some trainers that focus on the breathing. So they're on the one machine,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, pull. And I'm like, I like to talk. I'm like fast moving. I could have said a document by the time that one rep, and then it's like, okay, breathe out.
everything.
And I'm like snoring.
That's funny.
But that was a method, like slow, intense,
Yeah.
and breathe.
Trying to think of some more
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, I can remember thinking, like, it's not just all personal training, but in the spin room, we used to, when I first started teaching, they would bring candles in. There was
Yeah.
this essence of the Zen in spin.
Yes,
And I'm like,
yes.
Until
okay.
everyone started bringing like different scented candles.
Well, there was, yeah, and then in the
You get a
room we
headache?
had, it was like an old racquetball court, and the acoustics was terrible. We had a parachute that hung from the ceiling down.
For years. That was there
So
for
it's
a
like,
long
and people would come
time.
in, and there'd be the spin, and then there'd be the candle, and then there'd be the parachute, and it was like, so then
That's
we got
fun.
rid of the parachute and dropped the ceiling, and then we got rid of the candles, and then it's just been various kinds of bikes that have improved over
Yeah.
the years.
It's been moments where, in fitness, there have been different trends in clothing.
Oh,
You know,
true.
Oh,
you
yeah.
had the Jane Fonda period.
Yeah, leg warmers.
With the leg
Yes.
warmers. And then you have some members that get stuck in that time period.
You could tell like when they started working
Right.
out.
Yes.
Right.
So they still want to wear their leg warmers
Yep.
and they want to wear the thong up there
Yeah,
on their
the
body.
thong, leg warmers, and scarf.
You still
Yeah.
have that
Yeah,
stuff.
well, you do. And you have the ones that come in that just sit on machines.
Yeah.
I mean,
then
yeah.
The newer thing was with the kids, which kind of got on our nerves, was everybody has their phone.
Yes.
And then they'll
that's-
just
that's
sit
the
on the
new thing.
machine, and
Yeah.
they're just looking at their phone, and you go, "Excuse me, could I use the machine?"
I'll go
"Oh,
one
I'm getting
set."
ready to do my set. Well,
Yeah.
either do your set,
Right.
or get up off
Yeah.
the machine so somebody else can do their set.
Was the executive workout where you just go to the hot tub, to the
Yes.
steam room, to the hot tub, to home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
a whole nother
So
one.
Yeah.
if I gave you guys both truth serum, and this can be whoever came up with it, but there was an idea or something or a program that was launched that you were like, this ain't gonna work. This is not gonna kick, and it ended up being something. I mean, I'm sure I probably have some too that I'm like, that's not gonna work, and it ended up working out.
Well,
Is there
probably
anything
when
you could think
spin
of?
started, you didn't really know what was going to happen with spin.
Well, spin was starting. I came from another gym, and spin had just started. And so when I came over here, it was like the parachute and the candle. I'm like, okay, this is not my style of spinning. And then they said, Annie, will you be in charge of spinning? I'm like, oh, what do I do with this candle and parachute? But, I guess on that track, cardiovascular programs, like not just aerobic, not
Right.
just, step.
Yeah.
We lost step. Step's gone.
Step.
So it's interesting how there's more, I don't know how to word it, but aerobic fitness to me is step program, the bands and things like that. It's evolved away because I guess that kind of was like not really working. And people wanted to be more fit, so it was like cardiovascular. It was like, more endurance training, more spinning, more going from machine to machine.
I think so. I launched kettlebell here,
Okay.
and I didn't know. The gym didn't know. They sent me pretty much to find out what was going to happen with it. And luckily, I think kettlebell has lasted and is stuck because
Did you go to Minnesota?
I went to Minnesota. So at the time, Pavel, who was the master trainer in the States, he had
Right.
trained. He came from Russia, but he had trained the Russian troops in it before, and kettlebells have been around for a couple hundred years, but it hadn't been in the United States. So this was 2010, maybe around then, and he would do one class in Minnesota, and that was the only class he did. Now I think he does one he's changed the name, but it was one in Minnesota, one in California, then he did one in Pennsylvania a couple years ago. But the whole model was
Class, you mean like a certification
certification
class? Yeah, I
class.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was senior trainers, I'll kick their butt.
Yeah.
And I would say it was the hardest certification I ever got because you worked with the kettlebells for 6 to 8 hours a day. We had to carry it around everywhere with us all day. When someone left it somewhere, the whole class got punished for it getting left. But because the tool actually works, I think that's what has caused it to last because it functions well. I mean, it works. Kettlebell works.
Yeah, I can't. Well, the Cadillac in Pilates,
Yeah.
I didn't think was going to work, and it kind of hasn't. But the reformers have worked. I
Reformers
remember the
have-
big Cadillac. I'm like, wow, that's a big thing, and that sort of just sat there in the corner. But then the reformers have really worked.
I think you mentioned something also that didn't work. Was that trampoline?
Yeah, that
Those
that was
little
around the time.
trampolines
Yeah.
in the room.
Because the aerobics director at the time thought it would be good, bring it in, and it's like, and it was just like you watch people bounce in class.
Yeah,
that was interesting. Yeah.
That didn't lie.
And there's been various trends, which as a gym you have to hook up to the trend because you don't know if it's going
Yeah.
to be good or bad. I think we're good at like, okay, no, this isn't working. Get rid of it and not beat the dead dog.
Yeah, just move along.
Sometimes we've held on, but I think
Yeah.
for the most part, when it comes to like fitness
Yeah.
and programming, we don't hold on too long.
Yeah, we
I mean,
just-
kettlebell is one of my favorite things. I mean, I haven't done it in years. Which Carlos
Yeah.
is
But
more
you
than
did it
aware of.
for a couple years with me.
I was there Monday and Wednesday for a few years.
And
yeah, for
CrossFit,
sure.
I mean, we were there with CrossFit. I mean,
Yeah.
but then again, there's more smaller CrossFit gyms that are opening up. But that was really strong.
Yeah, that took off.
Yeah.
With the injury level in that,
Yeah.
and people thinking that they could do it and shouldn't have been doing it,
Yeah.
and then different forms of it.
Oh, and I think the location for that's like, they're looking for that box. And
Right.
This is
Yeah.
a full service facility.
Right.
Yes.
They want one location.
want
That's
that
what
feel.
they come
Right.
there for.
And you just focus on CrossFit. You're the CrossFit. You're there for that. But
Yeah.
we did good for that for a long time.
yeah.
But
We
yeah.
were up to 70 members.
Yep,
At our,
yes.
At our height.
So, thinking about that, and then going back to kind of the personal training side of things, going back 20 years, 25 years to now, clients, and so I know some of the clients you've had for that long, what do you see some of the goals or objectives of people coming in? Have they changed as far as what they're looking to accomplish? Obviously, we know cardio and weights have started to take over a little bit more than cardio and things like that. But have you seen that kind of relay into client goals when you're meeting with them?
Yeah, most people still want to lose weight. They want to get in better shape. They want to look a certain way. They don't always know what it's going to take to get to that point.
So they have the result in mind.
Yes,
Yeah.
they have the result, but they don't know what the work is to get to that.
Right.
I think the biggest thing affecting our industry now is drugs. People don't understand about that is that it's a diabetic medicine, so it's going to stop you from wanting to eat. But what it also does is attack your nervous system and your skeletal muscular system differently. If you aren't a physically fit person already and you're overweight, and then you take this, well, what muscle you do have, that's what it ends up attacking. So your body gets lighter, but you don't necessarily get in better shape or not as much fat on your body to
Right.
make you healthier.
Yeah.
That's what they lose in that. And if you take someone like a Serena Williams, who is a muscular woman, and then she uses it, she has enough muscle to sustain her weight loss because she's actually bringing that down some too. But the average person, and what's happening now in the industry, frozen stomach,
Yeah.
intestines that don't work, those are the things that are going to
Joints.
start
Yeah.
happening to people because it's not really made for your body.
Yeah.
I had a woman tell me, well, let me lose my 40 pounds and then I'll come work out. Okay, in your process of losing your 40 pounds, 90% of what you lose is going to be muscle if you're on that drug. So now you're destroying
Yeah.
your skeletal muscular system, and then your body still is just as fat.
Yeah.
You're not as healthy
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Which they don't get that's what's happening.
Because it's a
with
quick
their body.
fix. I think
Right.
fitness in general is a quick fix. It's hard to do your sport, do my sport, because you are doing it day in, day out. The mindset of the average person who comes to the gym is like, here's my result. How do I get there?
Right.
Oh, now they're making a drug that I can take and I can work out at the same time. It's like, okay, how about we work? What if a person came to me and said, yeah, I want to take Ozempic or whatever? I'd say, okay, how about you give me a month first and let me train you, and then decide if you want to go on it. Let me pre-train you like you train to go into a hip surgery or a low
Right.
back surgery. Let me give you some cardiovascular workout. Let me give you some weight training workout, and then watch the results. And then decide, do you still need that drug? Or can we work out a little more? And if it's not really working, maybe, okay, you might use that.
Right. Let's see if we can stimulate your system enough to get it
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah.
Because, the problem, and that's everything in society now, is the quick fix.
Yes.
If there's something
Yes.
that say I can get there
Yes.
in 6 weeks and
Yes.
not have to take 6 months.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of leads to my next question is like social media obviously playing a big part in that. And have you
Oh.
seen that? I mean, people's expectations coming in or meeting with you thinking, well, I just saw this person and they did this, this, and this, and they got this result. Do you guys run into that or see that on the floor where people have maybe a incorrect or just a overinflated idea of how they can get what they want because they think someone on social media just snapped their fingers and got
Yes,
Yeah.
I definitely see that. You have influencers on social media, and then these influencers may have been an athlete all their life or in fitness all their life, and then
Right.
they're saying what worked for them. Well, everybody's different.
there. Right.
That may not work for that other person. This week, one of my clients brought in a friend of his who's an influencer he won some show. He came in to work out. He could not get through a basic workout. He goes, I haven't worked this hard, since I was in college. But what now everything is go to the gym, work out minimally, tan, and go take my
Yeah.
drug. Like that's not what fitness is. That's what social media has made it look like it is or becoming. But the whole, I can go for this amount of time, I can do this, I can take this drug, that's where the social media influence is that I see, that I think is negative. Because the actual fitness part of it, in moving your body and functioning and creating blood flow,
Right.
in areas where you can take pain away from your body, that's what I try to get people to see, opposed to a drug or
Yeah.
just following somebody. And people say to me, "Oh, Carlos, you should go on social media." No, I will never
Yeah.
do that, because then I fall into the clump
Right.
of the mess that's out there. I don't want to be in that mess.
And I think that's good that there's like, okay, we've been with the club for 25 years, so we're bringing the old school. And the old school's not necessarily bad, but people want quick. But old school, you got to work at it. The trainers we have as a team are young, but they're like old school. Like somebody comes in and they're like, no, you got to work. You know, the WOD, the workout of the day, they're on their own, but they make that workout on that board that's hard. So, you know, and people are going to come in and do it. Or you've got, you know, a new program that Livia just taught, and you got 15 people. They're like, whoa, what
Yeah.
happened? So all our trainers are like not, you know, not those quick fix trainers. It's like,
Right.
no, you're coming into my class, you're coming on my floor, you're working with me. We are working hard. And then it's a wake-up call.
Respect
Yeah.
the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
Respect the time you spend and
Yeah.
what you put into it.
Yeah.
And then you'll get your end results. You'll get.
But our team is like
coming in.
that. I mean, we don't have any trainers that, oh, yeah, you could do this real quick, or you could do this quicker, or yeah, you do that. Yeah, it's like, but the drugs, the stuff that's out there now, even mechanical stuff, it's like, you know, sneakers are all so different. Bikes are all so different. Everything's so different. Nothing beats hard work.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Ever.
yeah, it's like
Ever.
when I go to the bike store where I go and I work on my bike all the time, they go, yeah, it's not the machine, it's the motor. It's not the machine, it's the motor. It's you. And so many times I say to people, the most important muscle that you got to focus on is your heart. You got to work that heart, and you got to work your muscles to look good.
Yeah, well, I mean, because if you're doing the real work, then you're getting the real results, which
Yep.
are going to last, right? And that has a longer
Exactly.
impact. So with that, I mean, even kind of leads into this a little bit, because I feel like, you know, we've kind of moved into a phase of looping in recovery into what we offer at the clubs, right? And reality is that's always should have been in some way been part of what you were doing. I think sometimes we used to look at it as part of recovery from an injury, right? And
Yeah.
now we've kind of evolved to a good place, I think,
Yeah.
and probably a little bit from your world and your world
Yeah.
as athletes to say, no, I just competed, or I just
Right.
worked out. Like, if I'm not doing these things, then my recovery time is going to be longer.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to get
Yeah.
out of my routine, and
Yeah.
then it's broken. So what do you guys, I mean, obviously I know you both believe in recovery because you've probably been doing it your entire
Yeah.
lives in some form, but seeing that into a client or just a member's routine, you know, what is your kind of belief system with that as far as what that can impact for somebody?
Well, the recovery, like being an athlete, there was always warm up, warm down. There was always cool down. There was always injury prevention with ice and heat. And those things being brought into the general public, I think is great. And I don't think people understand, which is our job also, understand what's going on with their body, with blood flow, with movement. Just like with injuries, they'll come in, I'll say, hey, how do you feel? They go, oh, you know, my shoulder's kind of bothering me today, and maybe we won't do upper body. And I'm like, why would you think that? We're doing shoulders first because we have to create blood flow. We have to
Right.
get your shoulder moving, and once the blood's flowing, then it's better. So I think the recovery things that we have are great, which I still use here. I think it's great to be brought in to the general public just so they can understand what's going on with their bodies. Just
Well, and
overall.
cycling, not cycling, biking, but the cycle of fitness. So you've got recovery, you got ice, but I think the main group of people coming in don't understand hard days, easy days,
Yeah.
on days, off days. Don't spin 5 days a week. Don't lift shoulders 5 days a week. Like, because I'll even have some guys come up to me, which I think is really kind of, I feel really good. They're like, "What do you think, Annie?" And I'm like, what, my shoulder bothers me. I'm like, well, why don't you lighten the load, go through range of motion, see what it's talking, listen to your body talk to you, and then see if you need to work that part of your body. If not, do legs today. Like you have to learn, like, okay, easy day. Well, easy day doesn't mean you take off. Easy day means, okay, you maybe like run on the tread 10 minutes and then you go in and do your legs or whatever. So easy, hard days. What days of the week do I do what body part? What days of the week? Also, I've told people if you come in the morning on a Monday, but you don't come again until Tuesday evening, you actually have 36 hours between a workout, but you've worked 2 days in a row. So educating them to that.
Right.
But the recovery stuff is great. Like even ice, somebody came up to me today. She hurt her leg. She's not running. She cycles, whatever. And I go, well, are you still icing? She goes, no, because I'm not running. I go, well, that part's still injured. Why don't you still ice it? Oh, I said, well, you're on your feet during the day. Ice it, deflame it. And then you might be able to get back to running sooner.
I think that might be, inflammation might be the biggest thing that people don't understand.
Yes.
That if you take a pill, you go, oh, I'm better. No, you're not better. Your body's still inflamed.
Yeah.
So that's where recovery comes in. That's where ice comes in. It's going to take anywhere from 7 to 14 days to break the chain of inflammation. So I always tell people, you take your leave, take whatever, your ibuprofen, whatever you want, but take it for 7 days.
Yeah.
Don't just stop because
you feel better.
Didn't stop the chain of inflammation in your body. You stop. You're asymptomatic to what's going on with your body. That's what athletes do. That's how they get back out there. Soon as they're hurt, they start getting treatment. As soon as they start getting treatment at the level, at a pro level, that treatment is what a normal person would get in 8 days. They get in the next 8 hours because they got to get back out there. That's how you make a living. That's how the team functions. So the recovery stuff and the inflammation, even and the use of physical therapy that we have here is, members can go get injuries looked at. All of that stuff plays a part.
I think we've always been good like that. I mean, I think we've always been good about, well, do you know you can get a 15-minute eval? And we've always educated them like, oh, you can get a 15-minute eval. You have a little hip air or whatever. And they're like, wow, that's cool. And then use them to sort of suggest what we're trying to suggest. But it comes from the medical half, we're the fitness half, and it's a compliment.
Yeah, I think that's important, both the recovery and the physical therapy access that you have at our clubs and making sure that everybody here knows. I'm sure the trainers are giving them that advice, and that's just to the training clients, but to all the members that should be taking advantage of that, and even to all the members that haven't at least done their trainer orientation to maybe even learn just some of these things during those sessions, even if they're not going to be a training client right now. They may eventually, but getting some information, knowing what you have access to be able to recover and continue to train is really important. All right, so I got one last thing, because you guys have been with me for a while here, and I wanted to see if you guys could share one of the funniest or the most memorable story that you can share from a client or training perspective with AFC Fitness with your time here.
Training.
Wow.
Whether it's training or just AFC in general. I know we've all had our moments here in the building, so.
Well, I remember something, but it wasn't, it's not funny, but it was serious.
Okay.
So I was on the floor and I was training, and I walk over to the desk. Don't really know why I walked over to the desk, but a guy was playing racquetball, and he runs to the back of the racquetball wall and just stops moving and just slides down the wall. He was having an episode.
Okay.
And so I go to the door. I tell the guy he was playing with, I'm like, open the door. I put his feet up on me. Oh, he breathes. The feet down. Stops breathing. I didn't know at the time, but a stent had came loose in his heart.
Oh, my goodness.
And he was my client's husband. So I just tilt his head, you got the chest, and I start performing CPR,
chest compression stuff. Yeah.
Could he get it out, CPR? And he came, he came through. Then the EMTs came, and then they took him And he survived. He lived, and every day he saw me after they would go, Carlos, I love you.
Oh, that is good.
You know, and that's one of my most memorable.
Yeah, that'll
stories.
stick with you for sure.
Yeah.
I have some funny memories, but it's not necessarily evolved around actual fitness, but it's when we have snowstorms or floods and we have to close down the building, and I'm the one in the ladies' locker room that has to go in and get them out of the hot tub,
Oh, yeah.
get them out of the shower. But I got a shower. I go, you got to get out because we're closing. And it's like, that's my funny thing, because it's like, yeah, Annie, ladies' locker room, and it's like, oh my God, you got to get out. Well, I got to get my pocketbook, or all like the fire drills. But I have a client, which is a great story, and we've had some funny moments. So I've got a client, she's got MS, and I've been training her now for 15 some odd years. Got her from rehab. And one of the neatest things is I took her up the fitness floor to show her the fitness floor, thinking that she might want to do it eventually. Right after that, she goes, I don't ever want to go back to rehab. This makes me feel normal. I'm like, great. But we've had some funny moments with her because she came in with a rollator, a 3-piece machine, like walking, and then she had a cane, and now she's on nothing. And we joke with her all the time. And
It's Hillary.
Hillary?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hillary. Like it's been 15 years, and she's been, like cane nothing. She walks up and down the steps. She tells everybody she's the boss's sister or whatever. And that's a great story. But we've had some funny moments with her, and like funny moments in the locker room and things like that. Yeah.
That's
So,
a good
yeah.
stuff. So when I was thinking of this, and we're about to wrap up, I was thinking about two moments I had that I've personally had with each of you.
Oh gosh.
And so the one that stuck out for me and you was walking down the train tracks to come around the building to see
Yes.
the river
Oh.
just
Yes.
flowing in front of the building.
In the parking lot,
When
right.
which I don't remember what hurricane was that? Do we remember what
Ida,
that was?
4 years ago?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
might have been that.
Right now.
Carlos
It might
and
have
I
been
were the
it.
only ones there. Like,
Yeah.
you can go down the train tracks, but you can't go down there. And he
Yeah.
and I came
Right.
around,
4 years ago right now.
worked our
Ida.
way into the building, and that water was
Yeah.
this far from the motion sensing door that was just going like this.
Yep.
And then with Annie was probably one of my first couple weeks when I first took over as a general manager. There was a bag and a 6-pack of IPAs in it. It had no note in it. I didn't know who it was from. And apparently Annie had just gotten back from Maine. And I was like, I'm going to like Annie.
Yeah.
But I remember that just
Yeah.
just sitting there. It was in a bag. It was
Yeah.
something
Kinda-
from Maine, something from up there that was awesome. And
So
it's
a
like that was
question
the
you should
introduction.
ask is how many general managers have we been through combined?
Oh my goodness.
That's a
You've
good one.
lasted because of that IPA. That's a lot.
It's been a bunch.
There's been a bunch. That's a funny story, some of those GMs.
I mean, how
Yeah.
many could it be?
I think I've had like 8.
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah. GMs, not like.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, right now we've like on 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably been that many. It's been that many.
And
Yeah,
we've
some
had
didn't
some
last
funny
long.
GMs. Yeah, some didn't
We had a
last
couple
long.
that lasted like a couple months.
Yeah.
It wasn't long
Yep.
at all. I remember we had one, I'll leave the name out,
Yeah.
and I just could not stand this person because he did not do anything for the gym. He brought everybody's feeling down. And I walked
Yeah.
in, and Matt Littman was standing in the front, and he was standing in the corner, and I said, and you hired this guy. You hired him, and he's bringing everybody down. He should have been fired 2 weeks ago. And he fired him 2 weeks after that.
Oh, I was
He
going to say,
didn't
then you
make
got
it.
to know me, but it
No,
wasn't
it
that.
wasn't
Yeah.
you. It was not you.
We put you on suspension.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't you. No,
Yep.
it was you. It was not you.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm sure in every department there's probably been some characters. I mean, we got into membership team members, I'm sure trainers, some
Oh,
trainers
yeah.
that will
Oh, yeah.
remember. But yeah, I appreciate you guys taking the time to do it.
All good. All good.
All good.